for joining me on the Terror Machine. This is your monthly love reading for the month of August 2017, and this will be for the sign of Leo. So let me go ahead and give these cards a shuffle to see what energies you'll be working with for the month. Okay, in the middle of the reading, you have the Knight of Cups in reverse. So, if you're single, it could be saying that you're going to meet a person that they're going to display themselves like they have no emotional control, or they're going to come off real cold. Either you're doing this to somebody you're talking to, or somebody going to be doing this to you in the month. That they going to whatever you're going to present to them to be in a one-on-one relationship, they're going to act nonchalant, they're going to not be moved by it, or whatever you're saying, they're not levitating to you on a emotional level. You're not going to be able to find a emotional connection with this person or get an emotional feeling out this person when you present yourself in such a way to be in a one-on-one relationship. Either somebody's doing this to you or you're doing this to somebody else in the month of August. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that either you're doing this or your companion going to be doing this, that they're going to come off kind of cold or detached on whatever you're going to present in the relationship that you feel can be a benefit. They just gonna act nonchalant about it, they're gonna act kind of cold about it, or they not emotionally invested of bringing this one thing or multiple things into the relationship that you feel that could be a benefit to you. Either your companion is going to do this or you're going to do this. It just come off kind of not really emotionally levitating to this new thing that could be a benefit to your relationship. What you have underneath you is death in reverse. So death in reverse is, if you're single, it's saying that, and this is more of a pattern thing, that what whoever you meeting, you could be meeting a series of people that are that's acting cold, and you can feel like nothing is really changing, or nothing is changing around you when it comes to you being in a one-on-one relationship, because death usually brings change to a situation, but it's not bringing no change. These people that you are meeting are pretty much the same old of what you dealt with before, and they're not adding nothing new to bring something to the relationship, that or bringing something to you that is a quality that can kind of change your situation when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship with these people. Either somebody see this in you or you see this in some of these people that you're talking to, that for the month you're gonna kind of deal with the same type of people that's bringing the same type of things, that is not offering no kind of emotional benefit to being in a relationship with them. Somebody see this in you or you see this um in somebody else. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is more that this one cold attitude that's happening in your relationship is not, it's not presenting a benefit to your relationship, and it's not bringing a better bond between you and your companion. So you may be hoping to kind of kill off something old to bring in something new, but it seems like this old thing that keeps happening in your relationship keeps on happening because it's just a ongoing kind of pattern that's in your relationship, and you probably hoping for death, but it's saying that be due to this attitude, it's not this new acting cold and nonchalant, it's basically not bringing a benefit to the relationship. Either your companion is having this thought about it or you're having this thought about it. What you have in the past is a the chariot in reverse. So if you're single, what it's saying is that you're not trying to even, because you mean these people that are coming off kind of cold and nonchalant about how you're presenting yourself. You're not trying to um they're one throwing you off. You know, usually the chariot is you have two paths to go down and you know what you want to do, but these people you dealing with, they're throwing you off on how to pursue them, or somebody in the past threw you off in such a way that you couldn't pursue them the way you wanted to. Maybe you presented yourself to somebody like this in the past, or they presented themselves to you, that when they presented themselves, they added more confusion on how to pursue them to be in a one-on-one relationship with them. Or you did this to somebody in the past, that you presented yourself in such a way it threw that person off for even finding a kind of direction of how to pursue you. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that it's definitely whatever was going on that is not bringing a positive thing to your union with your companion. It's a ongoing thing, and you cannot find in the past, either your companion thought this or you thought this, that you couldn't find an angle to try to interject something new into the relationship to make it a benefit for the both of you. Is whatever you tried to do, you was basically hitting brick walls on it because of maybe your companion's cold attitude, or whatever you was trying to bring in was still having the same effect on the relationship and was not trying to change nothing. Nothing seemed kind of fresh, so it's throwing you off of trying to find a angle of putting something in a relationship that may be a benefit. um Either your companion thought about this in the past, or you thought about this in the past, that whatever you did, you were still getting the same results. What you have crowning you is the Knight of Pentacles in the upright. If you're single, you could be having meeting a person that in the month that has control over their own personal foundation, or they use money as a levitation for somebody to be in a relationship with them. Either you're coming off like this, or somebody you're going to meet is going to be coming off like this, that they seem well solid on how they're presenting themselves, and they have their stuff too together when it comes to their own personal thing. And they kind of have a belief that the best thing that can be with in a relationship is to have your foundation, or have things set up solid, so you can then later pursue um, a more emotional thing later. So either you're coming off like this, or you coming off or they coming off like this to you, or you sense this in this person that's talking to you, that they're more concerned about more financial things than an emotional bond when you first meet them. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that, and this is more of a advice card, that it's maybe time for you to get back to basics and work on making your foundation, or what you have, what you feel is a foundation. It could be finances, it could be the home thing, it's just anything physical that you feel that could bring a interruption to you trying to bring in something more emotional in your relationship, that you probably is thinking about more solid, having a more solid foundation, and having as a couple your stuff too together. Either your companion's thinking about this, or you're thinking about this, or you both made a decision to say, let's just work on like these outside bills, or all this other stuff that could be having a confliction with our bond, and take care of this first and make this solid, and then we can move on to something else and put that in effect to see if that's going to be a benefit to our relationship. It, The last card you have is the Five of Cups in the upright. The Five of Cups in the upright is, if you're single, you meeting a person that's going to present themselves, that anytime you're talking to them and you're talking about being in a one-on-one relationship, what they're going to do is bring up old stuff that happened to them in the past, and that's going to be the focus of their conversation. When every time you talk about, you talk about or ask questions about their past relationships, they're going to harp on all the negative stuff that happened in the relationship, and it seems like they're going to have a problem letting go of their old relationship. Either you're coming off like this to somebody, or somebody is coming off like this to you, that when you go and talk to them about being in a one-on-one relationship, it seems like old stuff just keeps coming up, like how the person treated them, or the old person they was with kept doing certain stuff to annoy the relationship or annoy them while they was in a relationship with this person. Either you're mentioning this to somebody that you're going to be talking to, or somebody going to come off like this to you, of griping over old stuff that ruined their last relationship, and they seem like they as a person cannot let that go, and it's going to be one of those transferent things that once they bring it up, they're going to try to transfer it on to the next person. And that's what it seems like when you're going to meet this person. Either you're coming off like this, or somebody else is coming off like this. If you are already coupled up, it's saying that whatever is happening and it's causing a confliction with your bond, what it is, it's a old issue that your companion can't let go. It's either an old action that hurt their feelings, or it was an old action that came from the outside that you as a couple could not clear up for some reason, or you couldn't put it to rest and move on to the next thing. Either your companion is doing this, or you're doing this to the companion by mentioning this old stuff all the time, or nagging this old thing to death that is causing somebody to lose their emotions or kind of become detached because of this old thing that keeps getting brought up in a relationship, when one of you may want to move on to something else. So let me go ahead and get some clarifiers to see what you'll be working with. Why is the harping coming up, or why somebody is being detached on a situation? Okay, you got the Four of Swords in the reverse. For singles, this person that you meeting, that you could be meeting, they either is a busybody and they don't take time to think about stuff when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship with somebody. They may come off more of rushing in a relationship and not thinking about, like, thinking about this is a new person and I need to come at it from a different angle. They just one of these people that jump from relationship to relationship to relationship without even thinking about it and thinking about the person they're getting into a relationship with. Either somebody coming off like this to you, or you're coming off like this to you, that you coming off like a butterfly and just keep going to the next relationship without thinking the characteristics of the people that you've been in a relationship with. Um, if you already coupled up, what it's showing me is that you, your relationship is too full with a lot of stuff that has a confliction that you want to bring in the relationship, and it's either you doing this or your companion is doing this, that they're not sitting back and really thinking about what all this action in your relationship is causing. That is just a ongoing pattern, and maybe because you have a busy life like that, but it's not taking no time and resting between with each other to make time or carve time to have that downtime, so both of y'all can think about how to craft your relationship better. You're just moving on you both could be moving on to two different patterns or two different things hitting you, and you just too caught up in stuff. And that's why I'm getting a feeling for when it comes to the couples. Let's see what else. See, you got the chariot in the upright. So you got one negative, you got one chariot in the reverse in the past, and you got one going on now. So what it is saying is, if you're single, you being more decisive of what you want from a person. Basically, you're gonna pursue a certain person, or a person may be pursuing you to see, that you can bring them what they want when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship. What it's saying is that maybe you was tired of dealing with these type of rush people, or these detached people, so you're deciding to make a new path on what type of person you want to be in a one-on-one relationship with. And this person will present themselves, and you may rush to go and get that person. But it's also, when you rest, you also think, and you might be rushing to a person that you may feel is good, but they come off as being emotionally detached. That could be coming up too. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is, because you had a chariot in the past with no direction, now it seems like in the month, either you doing this or your companion doing this, or you both decided we need to hone some stuff down, and really get set up the A's and B's on our relationship, and see what will really work, and be kind of dedicated to putting that into our relationship to see if it's going to work. So basically, you either you doing this or your companion is going to do this, to decide to take the rim and redirect the relationship towards another direction. And the direction they want to go in is to try to bring in something positive that could help the relationship. But one of you, or the both of you, is deciding to make a decision to be dedicated and take control of what is going wrong, or what is weakening your bond in your relationship. So let's go and see why Mr. Deaf is up in here. Okay. If you're single, what it's saying is, and I'm getting a strong feeling with this, that if you're single, somebody may be coming at you like this, or you coming at somebody like this when you present yourself to be in a one-on-one relationship. Three of Pentacles in the upright is usually saying you willing to work with somebody, but I'm getting the opposite feeling, that maybe one of these deaf things that's not bringing no change is because you, one, don't want to work. You feel like what you have is perfect enough, and you taking a one-sided point of view. Somebody need to get and work with you, instead of you working with them, or you both working together to craft a better one-on-one relationship. And that's what I'm really getting, that it and it also could get that you could be having other people looking in on your relationship, and kind of telling you stuff, and it's changing your point of view of how to craft your relationships when you trying to get in a one-on-one. It's like you mentioning something to your friend, and your friend brings up a story about being in being with somebody like that, and then they trying to offer you advice, but that advice only went for that one person. It doesn't go with the person that you are um going with, and it kind of creates this effect that nothing happens, kind of. And you could be asking other people outside yourself about how you should craft your relationship, but the information you're getting from these other people or these ideas that they think is going to work with you trying to pursue a person to be in a one-on-one is not, it's not working, because it was only individualized for that person that was in that relationship. It wasn't for you, it was more for them. And that's what the effect I'm getting. Either somebody coming off like this to you, or you're coming off like this to somebody, or they see that there's too many other people in the fold crafting the relationship. And that's what another feeling I'm getting, because you're going to outside sources to try to find different ways to get this person, and this person is kind of finding it odd, because it's like all of a sudden it's just not working, or they are not figuring what you're doing, or is basically a contradiction of what you presented to them at first. So, and that's what I'm really getting to. If you already coupled up, it's saying that, and this is going to be a little bit different. If you want change in your relationship, either your companion is going to do this or you're going to do this, is being willing to work with them. Maybe in before, because you was doing both rushing on being on two different pages and not really thinking, you may figure out we need to really sit down and work together on how to bring in different things in a relationship to make it better. And so you'll be sitting back trying to craft something that you figure is more solid, that the relationship need to bring about a certain depth to an old thing, that's or an old pattern that is not helping the relationship. Four of Pentacles. Okay, Four of Pentacles in the upright. So what it's saying is, for singles, you could be meeting this person, or you could be coming off at this person as being reserved, like you're more stubborn from working on the relationship, or somebody's coming off like that to you, that they're coming off very conservative, kind of square bear, kind of stubborn on trying to be in a one-on-one relationship, or they looking at what you presenting with a caution, kind of. You say something, they side eyeing it, trying to figure out, is it going to work for them or not work for them. So they're not really trying to move with it, because they may be at a state of trying to figure out what they want in a relationship. So they kind of coming off closed off. If so, you're talking to them, they're just shutting down every kind of pursuit that you're doing to be in a one-on-one relationship with them. Either you're coming off like this to somebody, or somebody gonna be coming off like this to you, shutting themselves out, being more conservative, or being more standoffish, and trying to see what is going on without trying to make a reaction on it, or trying to invest their energy or time or whatever to be in a one-on-one relationship. Either this person's coming off like this to you, or you're coming off like this to somebody else. If you already coupled up, it's just saying that both of y'all is, or either your companion is doing this or you're doing this, that one of you is going to take a stern way about looking at things. If it's about bringing something positive in a relationship, they willing to work with you, but they still closing themselves off to the idea of bringing something positive into the relationship, because they just don't know how to take it, or they don't want to disrupt a certain thing that's happening currently in your relationship with your bond. Basically, to me, with the couples, it's saying that your companion or you got comfortable with the way your relationship is. So you're kind of putting up a roadblock, and you really don't want to change anything, because you don't want to disrupt anything, or feel like you're going without out something in the relationship. So you're taking this kind of stance or this kind of wall up, so you're trying to protect something that you don't want to let go, that needs to be let go in the relationship. Let's see what's up with this chariot in the past. Ew. Queen of Swords in reverse. Miss Stein has been coming up. So, if you're single, you didn't go down a path of pursuing a certain person because you just didn't like the way this person came off verbally, or how they presented themselves, or they was talking crazy, or what they was saying was not making no sense, or it was not connecting with your idea of what you want in a person to be in a one-on-one relationship. Either you came off like this in the past to somebody, or somebody came off like this to you, that they was saying some off the wall stuff and you was like, whoa, it's throwing me off. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you. You know, you saying this stuff, but it sounds like a contradiction. You're talking crazy. You could be coming off bitchy about it. Wait a minute, something is wrong here. So it's more of this person that you dealt with in the past, or you did this in the past to somebody, that you were just not expressing yourself in a logical way when it came to being in a one-on-one relationship with somebody. They felt what you were saying was either all over the board, and they couldn't get on, this is my card here, the same page as you when it came to that idea of being in a one-on-one relationship. So they kind of just jumped off the boat when you were saying some stuff, and they just couldn't get with it because it was all over the board and it wasn't honed down into something that sounded very sound for them to be in a one-on-one relationship. Either somebody in the past came out like this to you, or you came off like this to somebody in the past. If you already coupled up, it can go the same way, that whatever ideas that somebody was bringing up that you felt it was going to be a benefit to the relationship, they was presenting it in such a way, it didn't have no structure. It wasn't well thought out of. It sort of came out the blue. It did not, it sounded outlandish when they presented it to you. It sounded like, what you want us to do, what? You just didn't, you just, it just didn't sound right. So you probably in the past, as a couple, or your companion did this, or you did this to the companion, it's like, oh no, I'm not getting down with that. That's one of those things I'm not going to get with. So you didn't even try to pursue it, because the way your companion was presenting this new thing that supposed to be to catch me out to the relationship sound like the cat getting eat up by the dog. So it sounded something real off the wall, and you just said, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Nah, that I'm not gonna follow you down that way. You know, no, that sounds real weird. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not gonna do that." So that's what it seems like. Whatever idea that was being presented to you that was sounding like it could have been a benefit was presented wrong, and your companion, either you did it to the companion in the past, or you did, or they did it to you. Whatever was being presented, they didn't decide to run behind you behind it, because it just didn't sound right, or it just didn't have this certain thing that sparked them to want to try it out, to bring it into a relationship to see if it was going to be a benefit. So let me go ahead and see what the last card would be. The Fool in the Upright. There it is. There's your out of control all over the board. So singles, whoever you dealt in the past, like I said, they was throwing you off, and whatever they said was all over the board. They was definitely a all over the board person. The Fool is usually a person that is carefree, and they take stuff as it is. So this person, with the lining of the cards, what I'm getting for singles, either you did this in the past, or somebody did this to you. Whatever you was talking about, it was either, when it came to being in a one-on-one relationship, it was too carefree, or you was presenting yourself too carefree. When you was talking to him, it was sounding crazy. It didn't home down on nothing. It was too whimsical. It was too fantasy. It was too nefario. It was, and then whoever was you trying to get in a relationship with, they couldn't get with it because it was really just way out of the box. It was super out of the box. The idea sounded out of the box, and you present yourself way out of the box. So the person decided, nah, I ain't gonna work with that. That's what I'm not gonna do. So they just didn't want to deal with it because it was just too out there. Or you presented yourself that when you present yourself carefree, you presented yourself in such a way, or this person in the past did this, presented themselves in such a way that they did not want to be homed down into a one on one relationship, or get on the same page as you, because their mindset was not just on you, it was on everything that the store can offer. Basically, it was for everything, and they left themselves open, and they was not trying to isolate themselves. No matter which way you talk to them, they was not going to isolate themselves down to one person. They wasn't going to, in their mind, they was not going to shoot themselves in the foot and cut themselves off of another possibility that could have came up to be in a relationship. Either you presented yourself to somebody like this in the past, or somebody did that to you in the past. If you are already coupled up, they just saying in the past, this attitude that was coming off, you may have tried a carefree way of doing certain stuff in your relationship to build a better bond, but either your companion is one of these types of people, or you're this type of people that you feel the relationship needed more control. It just needed more direction, or it needed something more solid to the relationship, because the carefree thing just threw the relationship totally off, because it created some kind of weird disruption with your bond. And that's another thing that can ruin a relationship. If one person is all over the board with stuff and the other person is more home down, it sometimes it does balance, but sometimes it becomes too much for the relationship. And that's what I'm thinking that happened. That whatever happened in the past, or whatever idea that your companion was bringing in the past, either you did this or your companion did this, it it didn't have, one, no structure. It was not presented right. Number two, it threw your normal bond off. Even if you tried to put it in your relationship, you probably already knew it was a little bit too much for the relationship at that time, because it probably was needed to focus on some more grounded stuff that would be beneficial in a relationship than just taking a carefree attitude towards your relationship. And especially if you've been with somebody for X amount of years, sometimes it still needs a lot of structure with a little carefree. But the way these three cards is, it was just too much. The relationship could not probably take it. So either your companion did this, or you did this in the past, that they presented this kind of whimsical way of introducing new stuff in your relationship to be a benefit. But one, it threw y'all off, and number two, you wasn't kind of down to do that or even put it in the relationship, because you knew it was going to cause a more disruption than where you are currently sitting at now in your relationship or your bond with your companion. So I hope you like this reading. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Leave your comments at the bottom. You can thumb the video up or down, and I'll talk to you later.